Something major just happened inside the Democratic Alliance. The party leader stood before the media and announced he will not seek re-election. No scandal, no resignation letter raising anger, just a calm exit from the top job. You are meant to believe this was orderly. Politics is never orderly. This is the story of John Steenhuisen. Why is he stepping aside? What does this mean for the DA? And what does this mean for the government of national unity? And the question no one wants to answer directly, was he fired or did he just walk away? John Steenhuisen is not new to power. He built his career inside the Democratic Alliance over 2 decades. He started in local politics in eThekwini. He learned coalition fights early. He learned internal party warfare even earlier. By the time South Africa entered the era of fractured politics, Steenhuisen was already positioned as a stabilizer. In 2020, he became federal leader of the DA. At that time, the party faced decline in support, leadership fatigue, and ideological tension. Fast forward to 2024, South Africa produces a government of national unity. The DA enters national government for the first time in its history. Steenhuisen becomes Minister of Agriculture. That role matters. Agriculture touches food prices, exports, land reform, and rural jobs. It is one of the few portfolios where policy success shows up in real economic numbers. Steenhuisen framed his work around growth and jobs. He presented himself as a technocrat inside a political storm. That is the public image. The internal reality was far more complex. The media briefing sounded calm. Steenhuisen announced he will not stand again as DA leader at the April 2026 elective conference. This is not a resignation from the party. This is not a resignation from the government. It is a withdrawal from internal party leadership. That distinction matters. Inside the DA, leadership equals control over strategy, messaging, and coalition posture. Giving that up is not neutral. It's a redistribution of power. Reports point to internal pressure, not public rebellion. Private disagreement over how the DA should operate inside the GNU. Some wanted harder lines, some wanted renegotiation. Some wanted distance from the ANC-driven compromises. Steenhuisen chose stability over internal conflict. Or was he pushed toward that choice? Both can be true at the same time. Let us deal with the uncomfortable question directly. Was John Steenhuisen fired? No formal process removed him. No vote of confidence happened. No disciplinary action followed. But politics rarely uses HR language. When internal pressure makes leadership untenable, leaving becomes voluntary on paper. When coalition decisions anger key factions, leaders lose room to maneuver. Steenhuisen faced the trade-off. Fight the party while trying to govern, or step aside internally and preserve influence in government. He chose the second path. That is not a collapse. It is not a triumph either. It is a managed retreat. In political terms, this looks less like being fired and more like being boxed in. The door stayed open, the walls moved closer. The DA now enters a leadership transition. This is the biggest internal reset since Helen Zille stepped aside years ago. The likely successor is Geordin. He is the mayor of Cape Town. He is 39 years old, and that age matters. It signals a generational shift. Louis represents managerial governance, infrastructure delivery, budget discipline, low drama leadership, but there is a complication. He wants to remain mayor while leading the party. That creates a split focus problem. Running a city and running a national opposition inside a coalition are not the same job. The DA also faces a strategic question. Does it double down inside the GNU, or does it reposition as a sharper watchdog partner? Voters will judge results, not speeches. If the GNU fails economically, coalition partners will share the blame. The DA knows this. That is why leadership renewal matters now, not later. From the GNU perspective, this move signals stability. Steenhuisen is expected to remain Minister of Agriculture. That keeps continuity in a key portfolio. It reduces internal DA conflict spilling into cabinet. The ANC, business and markets prefer predictability. A new DA leader may still push for better coalition terms, more influence, clearer accountability, but the GNU survives this transition. It does not collapse because of it. In fact, this move may strengthen the coalition in the short term by separating party battles from governance. John Steenhuisen exits party leadership but not national relevance. He remains in cabinet, he remains experienced, he remains politically alive. The DA moves towards younger leadership, the GNU moves towards cautious consolidation. This is not the end of a career, it is a reallocation of power. South African politics is entering a phase where coalition skill matters more than ideological purity. Those who survive will be those who adapt fastest. Steenhuisen adapted. Now the DA must prove it can do the same. The real test comes in delivering jobs, growth, food prices, and everything else is noise. This was not a simple exit. It was a strategic moment disguised as routine. You are watching a party reposition itself inside a fragile government, and you are watching a politician choose influence over title. In South African politics, that choice often decides who stays relevant.